Guy's giving his weapon away. He's giving his weapon away. So, Gable Steveson is going to do bare knuckle boxing, and this is being met with a surprising amount of resistance. I thought people would be so excited for this. And they're not. They're looking at it as though this is a foolish move. Let me just share this with you. The courage that it would have, I can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody using past tense that's come along so far. I can't even imagine in the future somebody comes along. Look at young Gable. He's giving his number one weapon away. He's promising to come to a fight of unarmed combat and de-arm a lifetime skill of unarmed combat. This is the Olympic wrestling champion. Are you guys familiar with this young man, Gable Steveson? He has had some life experiences in such a short period of time. Youngest Olympic champion of all time. American. Title that used to be, hold just for perspective, by Henry Cejudo. They were both 20 years old. Gable was 20 years and a few less months than Henry. At any rate, parlays that wrestling success into a WWE contract. Ends up thinking, this WWE is not for me. He gets an interest in football, which lands him a contract and playing time with the Buffalo Bills. He ends up leaving that. Was it the Bills or the Titans? You get my point either way. Quite sure it was the Bills. He ends up leaving that and decides he's going to come over to MMA, of which the doors are wide open. People are very happy to sign him. Somewhere along the way, he gets a 6+ figure contract to do a jiu-jitsu match against perhaps the best jiu-jitsu player to ever live. It's very interesting. This is a guy that's in very high demand, and a massive rule that Vince McMahon and now Triple H runs their company under is to give the crowd what they want, but not what they're expecting. And I just feel like everybody involved here, Mike Perry, Abe Kawa, manager, Gable Steveson himself, I feel like everybody is giving the audience what they want, but we never expected that. We never saw that coming. We could swallow the idea that somebody with no belt and no training is going to take on Craig Jones. You spot him 80 pounds. Oh, by the way, you bring in the best amongst the ones to have never done it, which is the Olympic champion in Gable Steveson. I mean, that was something that was palatable. But the idea that he would go and do bare knuckle boxing just wouldn't cross your mind. I think it's tremendously courageous. I think he's going to win, by the way. But setting that aside, the mere idea, Gable does not have any room for error. He has no room to stub his toe. He's got Jon Jones in his corner, carnival barking for him, saying he's going to be the world champion. I am going to be there for it. And there are people that have seen Jon Jones coach. I mean, Holly Holm, for example, will tell anybody, publicly or in private, Jon Jones is a great coach. Holly Holm, in fact, enlisted Jon for stand-up MMA coaching. This is a 17-time world boxing and kickboxing champion, and she said he understood things from a stand-up realm in MMA. She said how great he was. And I do love the idea. I think that it really adds to Jon's legacy. I truly do. To coach a world champion is very rare. Henry Cejudo left the sport, and I realize that he's returned, but the way the story, when he left the sport, he got into coaching. And then all of a sudden, Henry Cejudo's got a world champion. And then all of a sudden, he's got two. And then all of a sudden, Henry Cejudo's got a third athlete fighting for a world championship. It's an incredible thing. It's very incredible to be able to do multi-facets of a sport. And if Jon does plan to train Gable, I think that's an interesting piece of the story. And I not only would give Gable credit for it, I would also give Jon credit for it. And I think, by the way, that Jon has tied himself to the right horse. I don't know if there's anybody with the potential that is more clear to be a world champion than Gable. And I love this idea that he's doing bare knuckle. I've been so surprised at the people that are resisting. You're resisting it from a perspective, and I hear this all the time. Some fight gets suggest. And the audience comes out and picks one of the two guys in the alleged fight and says, he will never do it. So why? Why would you think a fighter wouldn't fight? Oh, he can't beat that guy. He's going to get beat up. Okay, great. But now you didn't just reveal the fighter. You just revealed yourself. You would not do a fight if you thought you couldn't win. You would not do a fight if you thought that it was a challenge. You would not do a fight if you thought this person had a better understanding of something that is likely to come up. The fighter would take the challenge. The fighter would not back down because it's hard. The fighter would not back down even if he himself thought he was going to lose. He would understand this is the game we play, and some go for you and some go against you, but I will make that walk either way. And that's a very tough guy thing to say. But behind the scenes, very few people live by that code. The mere fact that Gable Steveson is going to leave his greatest weapon behind with the inexperience that he has, the same way as he was willing to do it with Craig, the same way that he successfully did it in the LFA, and the way that he is willing to go out and do it now in bare knuckle, I think this is awesome. And I am very surprised by anybody that's questioning it. Are you right to say you have a combat athlete who left his greatest tool behind? Yeah, you're right to say that. That's the entire point. That is the challenge. That is why this is interesting.